The youngest son of the late Hollywood film director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle will be arraigned on murder charges. He's accused of stabbing them to death. Authorities say the violence took place in the Reiner's West LA home on December 14th. Nick was arrested that same day. He made his first courtroom appearance 3 days later wearing shackles and a suicide prevention smock, but did not enter a plea. Prosecutors charged Nick with 2 counts of first-degree murder, and if convicted, he could face life in prison without parole or the death penalty. Now joining us live is CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman. Katrina, how could Nick's psychiatric history be a big factor in this trial?
His mental health could play a significant role here. For one, it could be potentially used to try to negotiate some form of plea deal. We could see an insanity defense. There's also the case that if the defense is able to prove that Nick Reiner wasn't able to form the requisite intent because of his mental health condition, because of any medication, it could lead to lessening of the charges. There's also precedent for people ending up in long-term psychiatric care instead of going into the prison system. That could potentially even happen before a trial. His lawyers are very likely having him go through an extensive mental health evaluation now as they figure all of this out.
And CBS News also obtained police calls for service records at Rob Reiner's home from 2013 to 2025. What did those calls show us?
That's right. So the early ones are more innocuous, an open door, a party that they responded to, but there are 2 notable ones in 2019. One in February and one in September. The first one was a welfare check, and the second one was a mental health check on a male at the residence. Then there are 2 more. Those are from the day that Rob and Michelle Reiner were killed. It is a response to the residents and then a call for backup.
And Katrina, NBC is reporting some new details about a remarkable bond that Rob and Michelle had with a former death row inmate. What about all of that information caught your attention?
This is an incredibly moving and poignant story. It's about a convicted murderer that Rob and Michelle became friends with, were trying to help. He was put in jail when he was 17 years old, and it's come to light over time that there may be some issues with the evidence that led to him being behind bars. He was initially on death row. He is not anymore, but Michelle and Rob had seen a production that actually includes his writings, and they were so struck by his story that they developed this very close relationship with him. It said that he became almost like family to them. In fact, Rob Reiner wrote this letter on his behalf where he said that aside from his father, Carl Reiner, he had never been more influenced or impressed by someone else. In fact, the day of their murder, just hours before, Michelle had sent him an email in prison telling this man that she hoped that they could all watch this production involving his writings very soon. And he talked about how they had so much compassion for him, and he thinks that they too would want compassion for their own son.
Yeah. Okay, Katrina Kaufman, thank you so much for your reporting.